Hi everyone, my name is Matt and welcome to my channel. Rather than painting a whole model from start to finish, this time I'd like to focus on just one thing. Let's paint the glowing green fire on this model. We'll paint the flames first, and then we'll add a glowing green effect around them. So let's grab our brushes and get started. I started off by base coating the flames with toxic yellow. I'm going to have the flames lighter at the base and darker on the ends, but the yellow will be a good base coat for everything. I'm trying to include more mistakes in my videos and show how to fix them. I had a little too much paint on the brush, and some paint just ran off the flame and onto part of the book. I quickly rinsed the brush and wiped it on a paper towel. Then I used the clean brush to soak up the spilled paint. I rinsed the brush again and went back a second time, and now the book looks good. Just wait for the surface to dry, and then you can go back and try again. Now I'd like to start building up the green with some glazes. I thinned down some Moot green with water, and with barely any paint on the brush, I applied paint to the flames. I find it easier to turn the model upside down for this part. The goal here is to tint all the flames slightly, and we don't want the paint to pool too much. A little excess paint is okay though. I worked my way around the model, and after the first layer dried, I applied a second and then a third. I focused each consecutive layer a little closer towards the ends of the flames, which should result in a blended effect, going from yellow at the base up to solid green at the top. If you want more information about advanced techniques like glazing and blending, check out this video here. I'd like the ends of the flames to be blended to Incubi darkness, and since that's a lot darker than Moot green, I'll need to mix a couple midtones. I mixed about 1 part Incubi darkness with 2 parts Moot green, and I painted about halfway up the flames. Just like with the last step, I like to apply a few successive layers, one after another, and work my way towards the ends of the flames. I'd like to mix up one more midtone, and this time it's about 2 parts Incubi darkness to 1 part Moot green. Each layer is gradually covering a smaller surface area, and now I want to pay more attention to where I place the highlights. So I flipped the model right side up, and I'm thinking about where the flame shapes curve around and how I want the blend to look. Some rough patches are okay. It'll be easy to smooth those out later. Right now, just focus on building up the color on the ends. Next I thinned down some Incubi darkness and painted that on the very edges. Just like with the previous layers, I have very little paint on the brush and the layer looks transparent. Notice how quickly it dries. If your paint takes longer to dry or it flows off the raised edges, it means you have too much paint on your brush. Build up a few layers, working towards the end, and build up a rich, dark color. Now's the time to smooth out any rough spots in the blend with a glaze of Moot green. Just like the other glazes, thin it down with water and make sure there's very little paint on your brush. If you get a little overzealous with the Moot green, you can go back to any of the midtones or to Incubi darkness and touch up the mistakes. With the blend looking smooth, now I'd like to add some edge highlights. I really like the graphic quality of edge highlights, but you could skip this step if you want a more blended look. I highlighted the edges with Ahriman blue, Moot green, and Toxic yellow. You could paint these in any order you like, and you can go back and forth between them. I focused the turquoise paint near the ends of the flames, Toxic yellow near the base of the flames, and I painted Moot green between the two. Now is a great time for me to ask you to do those YouTube things that we all love so much. If you're liking the video so far, please give it a like. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future content. If you really like what I'm doing here and want to support the channel further, consider being a channel member. We have some perks including a Discord server and early access to videos. I mixed a small amount of white into the Ahriman blue, and I picked out the ends of the flames. Rather than highlight the ends of the flames one more time, we can make the highlights stand out more by darkening the area next to it instead. I thinned down some black paint with water, and I painted it near the ends of the flames, in between the highlights. With all the highlights painted, now it's time to add a subtle glowing effect, beginning with glazes of Moot green thinned with water. With very little paint on the brush, build up the layers gradually and slowly. Focus more of the glazes closer towards the light source, and fewer glazes as you get further away from it. I want this glowing effect to be more subtle, so I'm not going to overdo it. Think about where the light might hit, and build up the highlights there. But also, don't be afraid to exaggerate the effect for the sake of better art. Let your creative license take over. Maybe the physics are off, and the light wouldn't actually reflect off the armor like this, but if it looks good, sometimes that's all that matters. It's important to start out with a transparent color for the glazes, and avoid mixing in white just yet. If the paint is too opaque, or if it has white in it, the color can end up looking chalky. The glowing effect will show up better on darker surfaces, so if you want it to be more pronounced, you might want to paint the other parts of the model a shade or two darker than you normally would. I think the glowing effect would look the most obvious if I add reflections on the armor, and on the edges of the staff icon. I'm less concerned about aiming for a perfect realism here, and more concerned about what looks like a glowing light to the viewer. With the Moot green applied, next I took some Toxic yellow and I added a touch of Moot green to it. I want to make sure the flames look brighter than the glow around them, and since the base of the flames was painted with pure Toxic yellow, the little bit of green in the mix will keep it from looking too bright. Think about where the light is hitting the model and where you want to draw attention to. A little can go a long way, so I like to try and paint these highlights sparingly. Finally, I want to reinforce the brightest part of the flames with a highlight. I mixed some white in with the toxic yellow and painted a couple accents at the base of the flames. I'd like to give a big shout out to our channel members. Thank you so much for your support. It really is a huge help. If you want to be like these amazing people and help support what I'm doing here, just click the join button down below. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the video and learned something new. Give it a shot the next time you have a model with fire or a magic spell, and share your results over on Discord. Would you like to see more single topic videos like this, or do you prefer a whole model from start to finish? What about more advanced topics? Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. Well, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy painting.